Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Codex Prime podcast. I'm your host, Maurice. We are here in episode 22 of the Codex Prime podcast. We are still trucking along. I can't believe it. Aris, how are you?
Oh, I'm here with you. This is 22 times we've done this, and I'm starting to question my sanity.
I don't even remember the previous 21 episodes, if I'm being completely honest. Oh, goodness. Carl Bird, how are you feeling?
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Are you sure, Carl?
I'm fine. I know who everything is. I know where I'm at.
Not
Batman.
Carl is currently in the league concussion protocol.
We had a bit of a pre-show technical difficulty with a ceiling in Carl Bird's head. But everyone's okay. Oh, goodness. Oh, so I'm glad you're feeling okay. I'm feeling
all right.
You're a little,
Thumbs up.
A little touch and go for a little bit there. And Victor Moyet, Victor Hurway.
Oh, jolly fantastic, man. Always glad to be here.
I like to hear it. I like to hear that. And we're here with two very special guests from the Lambda projects, Kindell Brown and Kristina Moyet. How are you guys?
I'm doing well.
Good. Thank you for having us.
It is our pleasure. This is going to be a good episode. Kind of go around, what we've been up to as per usual and go into some of your projects and some of the video production that you guys do. But how about you guys tell us a little about yourselves?
Sure. So the Lambda projects, we like to think of ourselves as a visionary partnership. We collaborate with local artists to bring a variety of visual content to life, essentially. We create, we design, we work with, whether it be individual artists or a group of people, we consider like what really you want to be your vision of your work. And we make music videos, we do documentaries, we do short films, whatever visual content you might need.
So when we do the Codex Prime podcast, The True Story, we know who to contact.
We are here.
That's awesome. So is that all local, around Rhode Island or New England area?
Yeah, so right now, most of our artists, actually, I think all of our artists have been from Rhode Island. So we like to definitely support local talent and local artists from here. You got to water the seeds that are here in order for them to grow and blossom and be great. So we want to definitely highlight a lot of the local artists, but definitely open to, up the East Coast or anyone else who's willing to collaborate with us too.
Nice. Now, do you guys, are you guys more behind the scenes, or are you both behind the scenes?
Behind the scenes in terms of...
When you do shooting the videos, or are you in front of the camera?
Oh, no. No, I dare not step in front of the camera. We are definitely behind the scenes. We do the camera work. We do the editing. If you have a concept that you're not too sure about, we can come up with a concept for you. We work with a concept that you already have. So we're mainly behind the scenes.
Awesome. That's awesome. We're definitely going to get a little bit more into that.
So you're getting involved in the production aspect and everything, not just the actual technical filming.
Oh,
the whole production.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
Dynamic
we're
duo.
we're a two-man team, so we have to wear many hats. And
So it's just the two of you?
yes.
It's just the two of us,
goodness.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
So everything
Wow.
from start to end, we get
Yeah.
our hands in. So
That's great.
keeping ourselves pretty busy.
That's awesome. That's a lot of work.
Yes.
That's a lot of fun,
Very
though.
cool.
And so how long you guys been in this field and with the Lambda projects?
Well, I've been in the field since probably about 2004, but as a group, the two of us, we've only been together for a year doing it as a team.
Celebrating our 1 year Lambda Project's anniversary this week, actually. So
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That timing.
Hey, perfect.
specials coming soon. Stay tuned.
You guys, and what's your YouTube page?
The Lambda Project.
Okay, good, perfect. Because there is a lot already up there. Is it all YouTube, or do you have other areas where you have your stuff posted up?
Currently, it's just the YouTube. We do have a web page, but that's something that we will revisit and kind of reconstruct.
Under construction,
Definitely under
It's
construction.
yeah.
So is ours. It doesn't exist. Same with our YouTube page.
We have a little bit of
Deep under
information.
construction.
Yeah.
But don't you worry, we have top men.
Well, if you know an intern or somebody who needs some credits, send them our way. We're always
absolutely.
looking to work with other folks too.
We would probably just use them ourselves.
I mean, if you guys do official projects and you're willing to take on some youngins, I know somebody who works at a high school.
There you go.
Everybody has to start somewhere.
That's true. That's very true. And where did you get your start?
I actually got my start. I went to school in New Jersey, a school called New Jersey Senior University. But even before that, I just always had this thing where as soon as I listened to music, I would automatically draw pictures in my head about the visuals and stuff like that. And when it was time to decide on what I wanted to major in school, I just went on a whim and chose media production.
Nice.
So,
And yourself?
ever since.
And I have no background in film or production. Actually, well, that's a lie. I was a extra in an independent film produced by Fred Durst.
Whoa.
Limp Bizkit?
From Limp Bizkit.
That's random.
He actually used to
cool.
live across the street from my grandmother.
Did he?
Yeah, one of his relatives.
He produced a film in Providence called The Education of Charlie Banks. And you can catch me in a dancing like prom scene. So I was an extra in that. So that was my kind of first debut, I guess. But other than that, I really have no background in film. But I think that what I bring to the table for the Lambda projects is like my organizational skills, my get stuff done, getting on track, staying on track and budget and locations and all of that. So I think I bring that kind of lens to the Lambda projects, which is definitely needed, especially when you're working just with 2 people. You have to...
Yeah.
If you don't have that, then the projects don't happen. We know from experience.
Yeah, so you are the Lambda Project's Victor. Correct.
All right, Victor.
You think we wrote this document? I don't think so.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Love Victor to keep us organized. This should be, it wouldn't be a show, it would be a show.
Yes. He actually picked us up from work and brought us here. How nice of him. So we're definitely going to get more into that as we go along. Outside of the Lambda projects, what do you guys like to do for fun? More film?
Me, I honestly like to just sit and watch music videos all day.
Yeah.
Take them apart. Yeah.
Yeah, we definitely have just sat and watched videos after videos and kind of like dissect them and think about how we would have approached specific videos with a song, and watching video without music too, and just watching it for the motion picture that it is. You know, we hang out at Starbucks and chat about ideas and create stories, and we're in the middle of writing some short film scripts, looking for a writer, if you know one, to make some of our own short films and that sort of thing too.
So we basically live film.
That's great.
film.
Have you
Exactly.
entered in any competitions or projects or like festivals, anything like that?
No, not yet. When we first started working together, it was actually for a feature that I had written. The project kind of fell through. The intentions for the project was to enter in festivals, but I think that I kind of took the project and kind of dissected it too much, and it kind of just got out of hand for myself. So it's kind of on the back burner. So we haven't really had anything that we entered any festivals in as of yet.
Nice. Aris and myself did do the 48-hour film project.
Oh, we was interested in doing that.
There's
too.
Victor.
Yep. Oh, sorry, Vic. Not Vic.
I didn't join in at that time.
Yeah, that was a good time. I actually just said, tell me where to be and what to do, and I'll do it.
Yeah, Victor and I have done it for a few years, actually. We've got a couple of 48-hour films out there that we've entered, so.
You did this past one?
Yes.
Yep.
You did the sci-fi one or the previous one? Right before that?
I was not involved in the previous year.
Okay.
I know Victor was.
Yep.
I took a sabbatical,
Yeah.
but I've been involved in the 3 before that, and the last one, I think I've done 4.
What film did you guys enter?
This year we did the buddy comedy genre. Was ours. It was called Forever Buddies.
True
Buddies.
Buddies.
Sorry,
You should be ashamed.
You're in the title.
Be ashamed.
Still waiting on the director's cut, Dugan, if
Yes.
you're listening.
Still waiting on that. Yeah, True Buddies. So it was just a little funny, short. No, it's fun. It's one of the things that I look forward to every year. I am also a fan of just film work, and that weekend is always just a really good time. We have a good team of folks that we work with. And, you know, we're still getting better. We just do it for fun. You know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that you know are way more serious and technically better than we are, but I doubt anybody has more fun than we do.
It's definitely a commitment for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is totally.
Now, if you guys are big into films and you love films, I know who you should talk to, Vic. Vic, you got a stack there. You got what you got there?
Yes. The Criterion Collection sale at Barnes & Noble, which I look forward to every year. Christmas comes in July and November. I actually bought a stack of eight
Literal stack.
of 8 Criterion films, all of which are awesome. Awesome filmmaking greatness here. I bought a Mulholland Drive, great David Lynch film. Day for Night by Francois Truffaut, Oscar-winning classic. Roman Polanski's Macbeth. It's a great film. Moonrise Kingdom by Wes Anderson, one of my favorite directors. Ikiru by Akira Kurosawa, one of the all-time great directors. A Special Day, another classic Italian film, Golden Globe winner for Best Foreign Language Film. In Cold Blood, this one's by Richard Brooks, based on the Truman Capote novel. Awesome film. Great black and white cinematography, true crime story. And Dress to Kill, which is a great erotic thriller, which I can't get enough of. So yeah,
Ew.
I really wish I really wanted one of those to be like National Lampoon something. You know, great.
National Lampoon's Van Wilder. That's my favorite Criterion movie, Vic.
Yeah.
that's not on the Criterion Collection, so it never will be.
Criterion and chill tonight, huh?
Boom. Yes, I can get with that. I can get with that. Yes.
And you have a nice little talk afterwards. That's great. That's great. Have you watched? Have you gone through the gamut of watching all of those movies?
Yes, I have. I have watched all of them.
Wow.
Wow.
Yep.
That's impressive, Vic. That's real impressive.
So yeah, Criterion Collection, I've been doing that. Criterion and chillin' this past Thanksgiving weekend. I also watched two very good films over the weekend as well, new theatrical releases. First of which I'll get into briefly is Brooklyn. That's a romantic period drama starring Saoirse Ronan. She was also in other films like Atonement and Hannah, which is pretty cool. And this film takes place in 1952. It's Saoirse Ronan. She plays this girl named Elish Lacey, who basically immigrates to Brooklyn from Ireland and to start a new life where she figures that there's really no prospects in her native Ireland, so she comes to Brooklyn, and then she kind of tries to find her way, and then she ends up falling in love with this young Italian fella named Tony, and they hit it off, and they kind of build their relationship, and throughout the movie, she has to go back to Ireland, and then where she ends up meeting another guy who may also be a potential suitor as well. So she kind of has to juggle like who should she choose. And the whole film is great. It was written by Nick Hornby, who also wrote the novel, and I think he also wrote the screenplay for High Fidelity, which also stars John Cusack and Jack Black. And it's a pretty terrific film. It's an ideal date movie, and Saoirse Ronan's performance was terrific. She was has a very heartfelt performance, and the whole film is about like her personal journey, her growing as a woman, as a person, as an autonomous being, and you kind of you're drawn into her story, and it's a very sweet, wonderfully made tale. So like I said, Brooklyn, it's a very good film. Definitely check it out if you're into period romantic dramas. And the second film that I saw, as well as you did, Aris, was Creed.
Oh yeah, Creed.
Yes, and let me tell you, I'm a fan of the Rocky series, and to me the first Rocky film said everything that needed to be said about that franchise. It's still the best film in my opinion, and the sequels got progressively entertaining and more dumber at the same time. Especially with Rocky 4, where he travels to Russia and becomes the American Superman, and
Rockies 1 through 4 are classics, each and every one of them.
Yeah, and then there's Rocky 5, which we won't talk about, and then
Rocky 5 is the worst.
Oh yeah,
Tommy Gunn is the worst.
Yes, he
I
is.
hate Tommy Gunn so much.
Worst
Yes.
cinematic character in the history.
Quite possibly.
Quite possibly, man. And then Rocky Balboa, which was very good as well. And Creed, this film is actually like a spin-off and a continuation of the franchise. This time it follows Adonis Creed, who's the son of the late Apollo Creed, and is played by Michael B. Jordan, who also starred in Fruitvale Station. Yeah. and which is also a powerful film. And this film, Creed, was also directed by Ryan Coogler, who also directed Fruitvale Station. And this film, let me tell you, it was great. And in fact, so much so that in my view, Creed is actually on par with the first Rocky film. And I just loved it. I mean, the story really drew me in. I really loved the cinematography. The cinematography was done by Maurice Alberti, who also did the cinematography for The Wrestler, which is one of my favorite films.
Oh, there you go. Okay. Yeah,
by Darren Aronofsky.
Great movie.
And there's like one scene in particular, one fight scene, one boxing scene where it's all done in one continuous take, no cuts, and
Kind of like
it's
True Buddies.
kind of like that, but you know, ours has far less punching in it. But
I
it
did
was
get put in armor. I'm just saying.
yeah, you did. But it was like technically it was well done, and also what was great about the film was Sylvester Stallone, who who reprises his role as Rocky Balboa, and like this is straight up his best performance in decades. I mean, wow, like his performance is so heartfelt that I won't lie, I actually teared up. I actually cried in 2 scenes in the movie, and I did not
Cut that part out.
I did not expect. I did not expect to have that kind of reaction from this movie. Like there was one scene where he's talking with Adonis in the locker room, and he's talking about all the stuff, all the things that he's lost. And when I was watching Stallone just perform, I had tears well up in my eyes, and the tears just started streaming down my face. And I'm like, oh my God, this is really powerful stuff. I mean,
Were you alone at the dinner?
Oh, well, no, it was kind of packed. I was alone in my row, though.
Oh, I didn't know he was in touch with your
Very
feelings
lucky.
like that.
But
Right, he was alone because everybody moved away.
I was sitting there, and I was just like, the tears were just streaming down my face, and I'm like, oh my God, he was Stallone.
Note to self, bring the tissues.
Yeah, and I also cried at the last scene of the film, which I won't get into any details, but man, this film was just a true emotional roller coaster. I loved it. In fact, it's my second favorite film of the year, right behind The Martian. And it's definitely going to be in my top 10 to 20 films of the year. So, oh my God, Creed, if you're a fan of the Rocky franchise, even if you're not, definitely check it out. Aris, what did you think about it?
I definitely did not cry during the movie. But I mean,
Afterwards.
I will say I'm not a crier. I don't cry at very many things.
Yep.
I'm not the type to cry at funerals, for example. I'm just saying, it is very tough for me to cry. I feel bad.
Yeah, right,
I feel
right.
bad.
Yeah.
I just
I would
go
hope
express
so,
it
yeah.
with water out of my eyes. That's all. But I do agree with everything that Victor said. This film had just a ton of callbacks to the original Rocky, to the point where, to me, it felt very much like a parallel of that movie.
Yeah.
Like you could have basically called this like a relaunch or a remake of this franchise, and it would have fit, just because there are a lot of parallels with it, especially one that from the original Rocky, like you said, that's one of my favorite movies of all time. That's a masterpiece in my eyes, and Adrian was one of the more enjoyable parts of that film, because she was not your traditional leading lady. She was sort of a mousy, damaged, but still kind of a deep character in that movie. And the female protagonist of this film as well, the main love interest, is pretty much the same. The same way. Do you remember the actress's name who played her?
Tessa Thompson.
Yes. Okay. She was really good in her role in this film as well. I felt that she complemented Michael B. Jordan very well in all of their scenes. Everything that it felt like there was a real connection there in their scenes, which was really cool. I'm not one to really notice a lot of the technical aspects of the movie, because I just tend to let myself be immersed in the story. But I felt that the soundtrack for this movie was straight up terrific.
Yeah.
It was one of the best movie soundtracks that I've heard in a very long time. And a lot of that to me, it was also because it had so many callbacks to the original Rocky. I felt that movie also had an iconic soundtrack, and this called back to it a lot. Like, obviously, there was a very, very much a modern hip-hop influence to it, and obviously that's fine. It's more of a hip-hop feel to the movie in general because of Michael B. Jordan's character, where he came from, and he's very much part of that culture, obviously. So the hip-hop slant makes a ton of sense, but sort of the themes, as far as the theme songs and music that was incorporated into a lot of the movie in sort of similar fashion as it was in the original Rocky, really brought me back to that film, which was really, really cool. They did an excellent job with that part. I felt like the music was a character in this movie as much as the actual actors. So the person who did the audio, the music for this freaking bang up job. Awesome. Nicely done. And I'd be remiss if I did not mention the fights were awesome.
Yes. Now, as
they punched the crap out of each other. It was pretty good. Also, one last thing. I'll let you continue. I just have to say, the last fight in this movie was really fantastic. It brought back everything that a good Rocky movie is, a real nice, good slugfest. I won't ruin anything about the fights themselves, but I will say, just going back to my point about the music, when the characters made their entrance for that final fight, I was just ready to jump out my damn chair. It was like Adonis Creed chose Tupac's Hail Mary as his entrance song, and I'm just sitting here like, that's perfect. That's awesome. And then the main antagonist of the movie, when he comes out, like, the way that they made his entrance it made him look like a monster. Like, I'm just like, oh my god, this dude's just about to come out and tear someone up.
I know in Rocky Balboa they had a real boxer be the villain?
I do not know if this guy was a real boxer. Okay. I would not be shocked if he was. He was really good, actually. The main dude was actually really good.
Nice.
And like it might be on par, if not better, than Mayweather bringing out the Burger King.
It's really close.
It was that good.
So do you even need to see any of the previous Rockies in order to see this movie and enjoy it?
I don't think so. Not in my view. It definitely enhances the experience. But this film very much can stand on its own.
Nice.
But if you have seen the previous Rockies, obviously you will get a lot more out of it.
Yep. Absolutely.
I'm sold on your reviews. I'm going to see it.
Yes.
And today's Tuesday,
really
right? Tickets are cheaper on Tuesday.
Cheap Tuesday.
I was supposed to see it this
right,
weekend.
right to the theater from here.
I was supposed to see it this weekend and did not get a chance to, so I'm very upset. But I will definitely be seeing it.
It might be my favorite movie of the year.
Oh yeah.
Wow. Like it was really that good. It's better than Straight Outta Compton.
You love Straight Outta Compton.
I do love Straight Outta Compton. That's one of my favorite movies of the year.
That was a good
Creed
choice.
is better. Creed is definitely better than Straight Outta Compton, for sure.
Cool. Now, as filmmakers and being behind the scenes, we talked a little bit about the Criterion Collection and some Creed. When you're going to see movies, what do you guys look for? Do you like the big blow-em-up action movies like I do?
I love them. The more skyscrapers that you drive a car through, the better.
I like more of the story element. Like, I'm really into like feeling those emotions and kind of connecting with it. I must say that after studying, film and video in school, it's kind of what do I want to say?
It changes your perspective.
Yes, I can't go to a movie and just enjoy the movie.
I was going to ask, was there a transition after you started doing it?
I pick apart everything because when I first started, I was more into the editing, which I love the editing part. So I was paying attention to like the cuts and why they use certain scenes and like the music bed and stuff like that. And it's been really, really hard for me to actually just enjoy a film, just to enjoy the film, because I pick apart everything. And when you're in the theater, you can't rewind to see what was going on. So it's really hard. But in terms of what I like about a movie is I like the story and like feeling the emotions of what's...
Do you try to avoid seeing it in the theater for that reason?
No, because the theater, like, what gets me is like whatever distribution company is behind the movie. I love like the dun, 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 dun. Like it gives me butterflies inside, and it's just like I hope one day that I can build a film that I can reach to the big screen. Like whenever I hear like the Paramount, the Lionsgate, all that, it really gives me like just butterflies inside.
That's absolutely. And Kristina, yourself?
Kindell kind of took the words out of my mouth too. So for the last year, I have not been able to watch a movie to enjoy the movie now that I've been tainted. Thinking about when people walk into the scene, when they leave, cutting so being from the behind the scenes, I'm thinking about what was going on when everything in this movie or this scene was happening, and so it's been really hard for me to actually enjoy a film for the story. So I actually watched, you mentioned Straight Outta Compton, so I watched Straight Outta Compton twice. The first time I watched it, I was looking for the cuts and the sound and the music. And the second time I watched it to enjoy the film. So I was able to actually enjoy it, and I thought it was a great film too. I, like Victor, I'm a crier, so I put the box of tissues next to me and put on a good chick flick, romantic comedy. 50 First Dates I can watch like 100 times and I will always feel emotional.
It's one of Victor's favorites too.
No, it's not.
So definitely a good, romantic comedy.
I heard Brooklyn's pretty good.
Yeah, I can check out Brooklyn too. Definitely, I'm sold on those two films. Gotta check those out.
I feel like I never want to really be behind the scenes because then I don't know if I can see a movie after that. So I need to stay away. I'll stick with the
Just
acting.
have to compartmentalize,
Yes,
man.
yeah.
But I think you appreciate the film way more when you know how much work went into creating, whether it's a minute film, whether it's a feature, and how much work and planning actually went into that.
Yep.
And until I was getting my hands dirty in that process, I was like, oh, which does a video? Oh, which does a movie? And I'm like, holy moly, like there's a lot of stuff, a lot of people, a lot of sweat, a lot of tears, a lot of everything that goes into work.
Yep.
For films.
Can
So
you imagine like,
there's
the
such
type of stuff we do compared to like a multi-million-dollar, multiple hundreds of millions of dollars Hollywood production. Like
Exactly.
that is the scale of those projects is insane when you think about it.
Definitely.
That definitely scares me coming from we're like so low budget and just a 2-man team. It kind of like really scares me to think about being on a set like that big and like such a big multitude of
Don't ever work for Fox.
Fox who?
Unless it's X-Men.
They are known to chew and spit out those indie directors, man. Josh Trank being the latest one.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Fantastic Four.
That's right. You saw that, right?
Oh, yes, I saw that. I'm not even going to discuss it. I just want to let everybody know it's just as bad as the review said it was. Don't watch it.
Okay.
Yeah. They did your boy Dr. Doom dirty.
As a Fantastic Four fan, I just feel like I have to, but I'm just like...
It's awful.
I'm scared to watch it.
It is legit horrible.
I keep hearing it's that bad.
I really love Michael B. Jordan as an actor. That's my boy.
Yeah.
And there was no chemistry between the actors in that movie. Like the Fantastic Four might as well just have been like those four.
But he wasn't the original director attached to that movie, was he?
Josh Trank was.
Was he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He did not have a very good time. Reports, but again, that's not unusual for Fox production.
Yeah, no, I think the whole production was a hot mess like the whole way through. And that was a reboot
Well,
itself.
Fox likes to let the suits get involved in the actual creative process. They love to do that. That's their thing.
We won't talk about Fantastic Four though.
No, we won't. You know what I did watch though?
What's that?
I saw The Hunger Games, Mockingjay Part 2.
Oh, we have to go see that.
I just saw part 1 for the first time. So
Oh,
now
cool.
I've seen part 2.
So yeah, there you go.
I have not
my
watched
wife and I
one mocking... what are they called? Hunger Games?
Yeah, Hunger Games.
I have not watched not one movie.
Oh, okay. I've read all the books. Like I was a fan of the books from back before the movies came out and everything. So I had to see it through.
Yeah.
Mockingjay was the worst book out of the
Oh,
trilogy.
really? I only read the first one.
And I actually feel like the films did a better job than the book did in sort of finishing the story and telling it. It was better. I did enjoy it. It was a good film. Jennifer Lawrence still doing a bang-up job.
How was her
as
wig?
Katniss Everdeen. It was fine. I
Okay.
did not notice it.
I noticed it in the first one. I was just curious because I was
She's
like,
always killing it, yeah.
she's great. I love her to death. But that wig in that part 1 was not great. Not great.
Sure.
That's what I get for being behind the scenes at one time. That 49 movie film festival. Too many wigs. I know a bad wig when I see one. Oh man. I'm good. I'm glad. It wrapped it up very nicely.
Yeah, it wrapped it up. Yeah, it wrapped it up well. Our characters, get a final ending, so there won't be any more. There's no room for any spin-offs there. Hollywood.
I'm sure they'll figure it out.
Yeah, somehow, some way.
They're doing a Harry Potter prequel trilogy based off of like a 50-page book.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, I enjoyed it. My wife enjoyed it. It's a good date movie. If you've seen the rest of the films, go ahead and go take a look. The actors are pretty good. The action is better than I felt pretty much any of the other movies in the series, which is good because I didn't feel that the action was all that great in any of the other ones. But there are some really cool setups and action scenes in this one. That are kind of similar to the stuff that they did when they were in the games, like during the war and stuff like that. It brings us all the conclusion to Peeta, our boy Peeta Millark, and Katniss and all those guys. And there are some really good, really surprising moments. So, I enjoyed it.
Nice. Have you ever seen Battle Royale?
I have not,
Victor, have
but
you
I
seen that?
have both of them.
Yeah?
That I've been meaning. I have both movies. I have Battle Royale 1 and 2, and I keep meaning to watch them, and I haven't gotten around to it.
Have you seen those, Vic?
I haven't.
It's a Japanese film, for those who have not seen it, which with a similar concept.
No, it is The Hunger Games.
Yeah.
Like before The Hunger Games.
Before the Hunger Games was The Hunger Games. Yeah. It's a very, very similar concept, but much more
It's
violent.
exactly the
in-
same
in
concept.
Jap- It is almost exactly the same. It is pretty much the same. But it's really good too. I saw that. That was really fun. That's one of those
It's
Japanese
like a
movies.
martial arts.
We haven't even seen it.
Really
So how do you know?
gory. 'Cause that's
Yeah.
what it is. Like a martial arts, gory action version of The Hunger Games.
And
That came out before The Hunger Games.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was my question. If
Yeah,
it was before or
it
after.
did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The Hunger Games basically stole the idea from
I'm pretty
that.
sure that's where she got her idea and then did her own little spin on it, for sure.
She put a love story in the middle. Hey,
Yeah.
well, I don't know if Battle Royale has a love story, so I shouldn't speak on that.
Not really.
Oh, you've actually seen it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Interesting. You've seen both or just one?
Just one.
Oh, okay.
Just the first one.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy it more than The Hunger Games?
I don't know. I think
Did you
so.
enjoy the action more than The
Yeah.
Hunger Games?
Well, okay. Here's the thing about Battle Royale is I saw it because I used to see the 24-hour film festival in Boston or Somerville Theater, Massachusetts, and it's all sci-fi, 24 hours straight. You sit in the theater, boom. I'd always get sick afterwards, so I stopped going. It was literally the worst week after. But sometimes, so the crowd expects certain movies. So when you show them a movie like Labyrinth, they hate it because it's more like fantasy and not really sci-fi. They showed Cowboy Bebop and they loved it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, so good.
I love Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, that's great. That's so good. So this one when it came on, because it's not really, it is sci-fi because it's supposed to be like a different future, and you get the crowd in there and they're not really. And I knew what it was. I had heard of it because of Hunger Games. But I was like, what are they gonna expect? And it's all little kids, younger kids. And it's Japan. And it's Hunger Games, so you can imagine. And people were appalled. They were appalled in that crowd. I was just like, oh god. This is
Wait,
not
were
gonna
they
be good.
appalled that it was like they felt it was cribbing off the Hunger Games, or were they appalled because of the violence? Because I've heard that's a very violent.
That
film.
one.
Oh, okay.
With the kids, the young children.
Kill the grown-ups.
Kids, yeah, but I'm not gonna spoil it, so I still recommend seeing it. But if
Japan.
you're going in saying, "Oh, this is gonna be like I love Hunger Games," I'm gonna love Battle Royale. It's not gonna happen. I don't think.
All right, I'm actually gonna watch it now.
You should definitely see it. Yeah. I haven't seen the second one. I didn't even know there was a second one.
There totally is.
That's cool. But that's where I saw a lot of like Safety Not Guaranteed. I saw a lot of movies I would not normally see at the 24-hour film festival for sci-fi.
Cool.
So that was really good. Get that for next episode. I want to hear your thoughts on that. Now I'm really curious.
I'll try to get it in.
Oh.
I'll try.
Carl Bird, you said you were up to so much this past week after
Yeah,
weeks
I'm
of nothing.
Literally nothing.
It really has been a week. But
Tell us like one thing. Just one thing.
Yeah.
Carl.
Maybe two if you're crazy.
I did read a comic that was recommended by a friend of the show, Jim Savard. It's called Steam Man, which is written by Joe Lansdale. It's basically like it's about like this giant robot that was built by this guy like 100 years ago after like say if like an apocalypse happened in like 1898 or something. So I mean I just read the first issue, but it's like really I'm like damn, you know, the apocalypse in the 1800s. Let's see like what's that about. So I'm gonna be catching up on that.
That's actually an interesting question. How come the apocalypse never happens back then? Why is it always current day?
Yeah,
So is it like a steampunk setting then?
it's like it's like this really old fashioned like giant robot. Like if it was like it's like a Power Rangers Megazord, but yeah.
I actually meant to ask you to bring that so I can borrow it, and I forgot.
The Iron Giant? Is it like the Iron Giant?
Yes.
I love
More or less like the Iron Giant. So I'm looking forward to getting into that. I've been watching a lot of Marvel's Jessica Jones.
Yes,
Sure
you
we'll
have
be-
Jessica
Yeah,
Jones.
Very good.
me and my significant other, we've been watching that, so I can't really finish it without her. She won't let me.
My wife went ahead without me.
For the whole
Really?
year.
It's not okay, because I know she's going to be listening.
I just like went to the living room and she's sitting here. I'm like, what are you watching? What's that? Is that the same girl that's in Jessica Jones? That is Jessica Jones. What's going on right now?
And all year you cannot watch Daredevil because you were waiting for your wife.
Right. It took me like 5 months to finish Daredevil because we were watching it together and I waited. She betrayed
That's what
me.
you get.
And she's now like 3 episodes ahead on Jessica Jones.
Why do you have to wait for somebody to watch a show? Just finish it on your own.
No.
So shared
Yeah.
watching
Yeah.
experience, Vic.
Yeah.
She violated the code.
Yes.
See, what you do is you watch it on your own, then watch it again with her. Duh.
I hate
It's
watching
not the
things
same.
twice.
No,
No,
That's
because
the
you're too anxious for the next episode, and when they're backtracking, and you gotta like, all right, when's the next episode? Because you want to get ahead.
Right.
So
And
you
you
gotta
just
watch it
spoil it for
together.
them. You spoil it. Say everything.
Oh.
Say everything.
Thankfully, I don't have to worry about that problem.
You will soon. Don't worry. Don't
Are
worry.
you sure, thankfully, Vic?
And amongst all my binge watching and stuff, I'm just gonna go straight into the mid-season finale of The Walking Dead this
No,
past
please
Sunday.
No spoilers.
No spoilers. All right, okay.
I have not
So
seen it.
we-
Carl. You know, we
Nobody's
can
smart.
discuss how I was right that Glenn. Wait, did you
Wait.
guys see
I
that?
know.
Well, we've missed like the entire 6th season, like whatever.
Okay,
point.
I was right about Glenn. Let's just keep it at that.
all right.
All right. So
You was, sir. I shake your hand. You was right.
We're implementing a new spoiler policy for the Codex Prime podcast. We're going to start doing, for TV shows, we're going to wait the 2 weeks. If you haven't seen them by then, I mean, obviously not now, because we're not going to spoil the entire season for you. Forget about you. Okay? That's the new rule.
Listen, Carl, you went with your heart. I went with empirical evidence based on the show's history.
My
And I
mind was
right.
after talking with other Walking Dead fans, my mind was changed. And
Should've
then
just
I
talked to me, Carl.
I mean, I couldn't just be you. Yeah.
So what's
You
your
and others.
What's your preferred method of watching, week by week, or just DVR everything, or get it all on Netflix?
Well, after we've experienced the Netflix thing, it's like week after week, waiting week after
Can't-
week is too
yeah,
long.
can't go back.
We just
Yeah,
want to
sucks,
binge
huh?
watch. Yeah.
I'm the only one who enjoys that.
No. it's too
Like I enjoy like having the conversations at work with people. Like, yo, did you see it yet? And then boom. and
Yeah,
then
no, that part's
waiting
cool.
for-
You're right,
I just don't
but
talk to people.
we can discuss Jessica Jones that way, and that's all out.
That's we
Good
will
point.
once everyone sees it. But just like that's so perfect. Every episode's right there.
Yeah.
I'm already done. I don't even want to talk to anyone about it. I just want to enjoy it for myself.
we will discuss Jessica Jones more in depth when the rest of us have had a chance to catch up.
Yes. So you just go right
I
ahead.
shall be caught up by that.
But just tell Vilna that it's for the show.
Listen, she has broken the code. Therefore, I will now feel free to get ahead of her.
Nice.
It's fine.
So next
Yeah,
week
son.
we're gonna be catching up on
It's the Wild West out there now. There are no rules.
Next week we'll definitely catch up on our mid-season finales, and you can talk to our content call Bird.
Cool.
Wait, was it good? Can you at least say that?
I expected more for a mid-season finale, but
Alright. Okay.
But keep watching after the credits.
Oh, Walking Dead.
But I think that's what the last 2 seasons or so, that it seems like that's people's reactions. Just like it's not like it was when it first came out. It's just kind of just slowly like.
Well, it's because
trying
they've sort of
itself out.
like they've killed off. Like to me, it feels like they've killed off so many characters. And they haven't replaced them with anyone that we can attach to emotionally. That now if they kill the guys that are left for like shock value at a mid-season finale, I'm done.
Yeah.
It's like WWE. It's all mid-carders. No main
Right.
event. No main event flares.
Like they can't kill Rick.
Gotta get the
They
wrestling
can't.
reference in there.
Oh yeah.
Any of the main guys. Yeah, because I know a lot of people like yourself.
Right.
You
They
like
can't kill
Daryl.
Daryl.
Right.
Oh,
They can probably
please
kill
don't
Carl.
kill Daryl.
No, don't.
No.
Yeah, so it's
Not
four
Daryl.
viewers that would stop
is
watching.
everyone's view. If Daryl
That's
dies,
her TV boo.
there's that is the end of that show. Daryl done. Walking Dead done.
I feel like, and I stopped watching a few seasons ago because because
Fine.
it was at one point I was watching and a friend of mine mentioned this and I'm like, the only reason I was still watching is because I wanted to be one of those people who was like, yeah, I watched Walking Dead. I had to be one of those people, even though I didn't want to talk about it, even though I was really bored the entire hour.
Yeah.
And I hate waiting I hate an entire week. I just feel like I was watching it just to say I watched Walking Dead. But I just get everything from you guys.
I think you jumped off a little early. Like it got better after you quit, though. Like the prison season, definitely.
That was good.
things up.
That was the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed I watched the prison season.
Oh, so you quit right after that.
I
Did you watch The Governor?
Yeah, I stopped watching.
That was the prison season.
I stopped watching the eye patch. I stopped watching the episode before the mid-season finale where he got governed.
The governor got his. Okay.
Yes, right. That's when I stopped watching because I was just it just turned it off and I was just like,
Yeah, it went downhill from there a little bit.
well, we'll see. Maybe I'll get back on it one day. And I did talk to someone that did see Fear the Walking Dead, and they just said don't watch it.
Oh, I've been wanting to watch it, but
Nobody talks about that.
That's
shit.
right.
Yeah,
I was asking
I-
you, should I
dumb.
watch that one?
I've not heard much
Yeah.
of it.
I'm all set.
Did anybody watch Into the Badlands?
No, I felt I have not gone back after episode 1.
I haven't gone back like at all.
All right, we'll check it
I
out.
think I'm like I had to download the AMC app just so I can catch up.
I watched the first episode.
Pretty good.
Nah.
Nah.
Like the action scenes were very well
We
executed.
discussed it. Victor was all
Yeah.
hating on it, remember?
Nope.
Yes, the last episode we recorded, we went over into the Badlands. I loved it.
Oh.
Victor was like, meh.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's basically how that went.
Yeah, pretty much.
Aris and I realized today that we have no memory of certain events in our life.
Oh, that's true.
So things just get blocked out. It's actually pretty good.
Quick story. Remember how a couple episodes ago I got that the new Nintendo 3DS XL?
Yeah.
And I'm like, hey man, I'm having a hankering to go back in time and play one of those old Pokemon games I used to play when I was a kid, right? I was gonna like get one of the new ones eventually at some point once I'm done with that Zelda. So this weekend we're gonna put up the Christmas tree. We did. I went downstairs to the basement to get our basket of ornaments, and I found in my old case of games. I found all my DS games, and I'm going through them, and I'm like, huh, I did not know I had Pokemon Diamond for the Nintendo DS. When did that happen? So I grab it, I go up to the 3DS, which is backwards compatible, I'm happy to report. I did not know that when I bought that thing. I pop in that Pokemon Diamond, I fire it up, the first save says, I have 59 hours into this game. I fire it up. The save is at the very last save point, right before Victory Road, which is the very last save point of the game. Which means I beat that game. Which means I forgot a grand total of 60 hours of my life.
Well, you do have memory issues, Aris.
The best part about this story is when he turned to tell me, I had just finished Googling something because I was listening to Mick Foley on the Steve Austin podcast today, and I was thinking to myself, as I was listening to it, as Aris was coming to this realization, I was like, I really wish, I'm like, why wasn't Mick Foley on this podcast earlier? Because they're really good friends. And then during the show, Mick Foley's like, oh yeah, when we talked about this on a previous episode. And I was like, huh? I didn't remember that episode. I go back and Google it. Yeah, it was like a year ago. And I just totally forgot he was on the show. And I literally still had the Google up, searching the episode when Aris turned around to tell that story. I was like, that's weird. And I remember all of the guests except for that one, so my brain just blocked it out. And blocked out, was it good? I don't know. Pokemon.
It was good. When I was going through my Pokédex and I was looking at my Pokemon, I remembered all the grinding I did, all the evolutions I went through. Man, me and those Pokemons went through some things.
So which generation was that now?
Oof, I think that's like 2 or 3 back.
Okay.
It's been a long time since I played a Pokemon game. I forgot that I played that one, like, all together, and I put over 60 hours into it.
That's fantastic. Anything else, Carbird?
Other than finally catching up on Saga Volume 4, my Secret Wars 7, Survivor Series, the 25th anniversary of The Undertaker.
Oh, that's right.
I
You
choked
keep
up.
talking about that. Oh, that actually happened?
Yeah, Survivor Series
Yeah,
happened.
I choked up on his entrance, and I enjoyed that. And
Is
then
the Undertaker dead? Is he dead now?
No, he's not.
He's undead. He's
Oh.
the Undertaker.
Oh, that's right.
We do have some wrestling talk on our podcast from time to time.
Yeah, I'm the wrestling nerd on here. But yeah, great. You know, his entrance, tastefully done and everything. I enjoyed it. And then the rest of them, I really just didn't care about. I didn't.
No, it's fine. No, I wasn't either, but you're going to be mad at me because I'm just so over The Undertaker that I just don't care anymore. And I know that makes you so upset.
So wait, was this like his grand finale? Is he done? Is
No,
he
it was-
gone?
No,
Oh, they were just
Actually
celebrating
not.
him.
Yeah, they were just. It was just celebrating him. Like
Gotcha.
during his entrance, it was like a collage of like all his different like forms throughout the years from '90 to now.
Because he debuted at the 1990 Survivor Series. So it's been 25 years.
I understand. That's
Yeah.
cool.
Feels
Hey,
like
he's been doing it a
100.
long time.
Yeah.
Feels like 100.
Yes, it does.
I will say this though, Undertaker's entrance at Survivor Series was the single best thing about that whole event.
It was.
Wow.
I went to the
mean-
bathroom.
Because I will say this though real quick.
So long!
The end of Survivor Series was so undesirable. I laughed
right.
my ass off.
Yeah,
It was like not only did one person, Roman Reigns, win the title, the person that no one, the majority of the fan base didn't care about winning. Sheamus cashes in his Money in the Bank briefcase and wins. Who's the other person that
No.
people care even less
There's only
about?
one
than
person that
Roman
people care
Reigns.
less about, and then he actually won.
I laughed my ass off. I was like, oh my god, this is wrestle crap. Good job, guys. Good job.
So I was watching with 2 friends, and one we watch all the pay-per-views, and the other does not watch at all, and he just came over to hang out. And as that happened, so with the Money in the Bank briefcase, you can cash in a title shot whenever you want. So
Within a year.
Within a year, yeah, until the next pay-per-view for Money in the Bank. So one guy won it legitimately, which was no one really, I don't like him, whatever. And then another guy cashed in his briefcase right at the last second and just won within like 10 seconds, actually 5 minutes and 15 seconds if you watch Raw. And my friend and I that do watch wrestling were talking back and forth, like, oh, this is happening, yada yada. And then after everything happens, all the confetti's falling. My other friend all of a sudden he goes, "What the fuck just happened?" Like, we weren't even real. We totally forgot that he had no idea what was happening. And he's watched it back in the day, so he knows like championship matches. And then the briefcase happened, and then my friend turned and said, "This is why me and Maurice are not going to watch wrestling for at least 6 months because the least desirable person won."
Mm-hmm. But there's always NXT.
There is NXT.
That never lets you down.
Is that special tomorrow?
No, that's on December 16th.
Okay.
The day before Force Awakens.
Oh,
Okay. Oh yeah. Yep. Here we go.
busy week.
Oh yeah.
Busy week.
I
Yes.
have no clue what you guys are talking
God.
about.
That's how my friend. Just imagine watching it.
When they go off on their wrestling tangents, you just let them go.
Smile and nod.
Yeah.
Smile and nod.
We're gonna do. How about you're gonna do pocket episodes of the Codex Prime podcast? We can do like. Oh my god.
Oh,
Get out of here. I've been talking about wrestling for a while. But NXT is just like their developmental stuff.
No one
so, like,
cares.
Paw socks.
Literally,
Okay.
no one
Yeah.
cares.
Paw socks.
It's like the minor league of the WWE.
Finally.
Boom.
All right, fine.
Except it's like if the Paw Sox were way better than the Red Sox. That's all I'm gonna say.
But yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's fair.
That's fair. Myself, I'm trying to think if I should save this for the Star Wars cast that we are also going to have.
Oh yeah.
Before the big blowout. Because I played Battlefront, the new Star Wars video game, and I read Fallen Empire or Shattered Empire,
Yep.
like you did the comic book. So I don't want to get too much into it. That's all I've really been up to in the past week. I did see part 1 of Mockingjay. That's good.
Nice. That was okay.
I'm a little bit behind. And it's funny because I saw Catching Fire right as part 1 came out. So now I'm just gonna never watch part 2 ever
Okay.
because it's literally never gonna come out. That's fuck it. Battlefront's good. I'll talk about not the Star Wars side of it. I'll talk more of the video game side of it.
Sure.
It's pretty much all multiplayer. So if there's kind of a wall that you hit because you can only play so much multiplayer. in any video game. So it's fun, but then everyone just keeps saying they slept with your mom, and you just die over and over and over again. And there's only so many blasters from Star Wars that make you want to keep playing. So even though it's only been a week, I may already be done.
Wow.
Oh, no campaign mode?
There is no campaign at all.
Oh,
It doesn't exist.
Now, let me ask you, did you buy the season pass for that game?
No, I don't know.
Good, good
I
man.
don't do season passes anymore.
Good man.
I've been burned too many times.
Yeah.
So I don't do those. Well, actually, I did get the pre-order for the Battle of Jakku, which actually dropped today. So that bleeds into the new Star Wars movie. So I'll be playing that once you all leave.
Cool.
Should probably go now.
I played Candy Crush at lunch today.
Oh,
so-
nice.
What level are you on?
I think like 150 something. So-
Is that impressive?
I'm not sure
I
if
would
it's
not know.
It's impressive to me because I didn't take it.
I only made it like
I gave
5
up at
levels.
like 10.
Yeah.
Every time I get a new phone, I have to start over.
Oh.
So, I was at like 250, and I have to start all over
Yep.
again.
Well, that's
So-
how they get you.
That's how they get you.
Crossy Road's a good mobile game.
It is.
Crossy Roads.
Crossy Road.
Crossy
Yep.
Road.
Shooty
And
Skies is very good.
Shooty Skies. What was the other one that I was just playing recently?
That Star Wars one.
Yeah, I played that for a little bit. It's just Star Wars. It's just so much Star
You
Wars.
love Star Wars. So much.
Star Wars so much.
Yes, you do.
Oh, the Impossible
Listen
game.
to
Music?
a couple
Yeah,
of
that's pretty
episodes
good.
back. You see how much.
I like the Impossible games. I like those. The ones that make you feel really dumb.
Yeah, this one's
Yeah.
called literally the Impossible Game.
Yeah.
That's like the name. It's great. It's really hard.
I've played some of those too.
Nice.
It is
Yeah.
super hard.
It's really fun. I actually beat that level,
Oh wow.
and then
Nice.
I have not been able to beat the next one. I played it a lot.
I believe it.
But yeah, I'm still gonna play. It's way more fun when you're playing with friends. If you're just playing by yourself, it's because people work in teams. So if you're not working together, you just lose a lot. And I don't like losing, ever, and especially in video games. So
Why are you such a loser?
because I'm bad.
Okay.
I've lost all of my video game shooting because I haven't played games in so long. Especially a shooting game like Call of Duty, I had to retire gracefully. But I just haven't played it so long. I lost it. It's gone.
So why does your mom get around so much?
Because she's a monster. She's a monster. That's why.
These are the pertinent questions.
Actually, I muted everyone on Xbox Live that wasn't my friend, so people would stop telling me they slept with my mother. and then like
Then it got really weird when people were still telling you they slept with your mother.
And I started getting text messages. I don't know how they're finding their way through, but they were. And then I couldn't talk to people that were actual friends, so I had to unmute it. Literally, the first game I unmuted it. Something like that. Literally the first game. And I remuted it again.
Online,
That's also part of why
online bullies and them dumb dugs.
Oh my god, Colbert. That's also why I didn't really play too much of that. But then the comic book, Shattered Empire, it was also kind of... So the way that Star Wars gets you now, I don't know if you got how big of Star Wars fans you guys are.
None.
Big issue.
Perfect. Well, so they're doing this whole lead up to the new movie where it's obviously been like 30 years since episode 6, episode 7. And they're doing video games, comic books, books, all in between that time frame. And of course, I'm a huge sucker, so I have to get it all. So I read the book, got this, a Battlefront, even though I shouldn't have, but I pre-ordered it in April because I'm a sucker. And then Shattered Empire, which also takes place. And that was pretty good, but it was very quick. I read it in like an hour.
Yeah, me too. I read it just under an hour, and it wasn't quite what I expected.
Me either.
Yeah, I expected it to focus more on like the original cast leading up to the new movie. It totally didn't.
Yeah. Like each one of them was in one of the specific. So like Luke was in one of them, Leia was in one. There was a cool little Naboo callback to episode 1. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
But it's really short. It was super short. I was just like, it was an hour, and then I was like, oh, it's done. I should have just read that online. I should have just read Wikipedia, and I would have caught up. But we're gonna have a Star Wars centric episode, and it's gonna be awesome. And Carl Bird, you have to see those movies.
Yeah.
The originals.
It's
Have you guys seen the original Star Wars?
Yes, a long time ago.
Still counts.
So you kind of need a refresher, right?
I could use a refresher.
See,
but
and that's all I
but
got.
I've seen all of them, yeah, but a long time ago.
I've seen Spaceballs.
That works too. I will allow
It's
it.
an awesome movie.
That is great.
No shame in that.
Absolutely not. Vic, you got any news headlines you want to bring up?
Yeah, I got a couple items up here. we did talk a bit about Ridley Scott's next film, Alien Covenant, which is his follow-up to Prometheus. He actually has 2 planned sequels to make a full trilogy of the film, and those films will lead up to the original Alien film, which Ridley Scott directed in 1979, and he said that the new trilogy is going to explore the origins of the aliens, of the xenomorphs, the killing machines, and also like it'll answer the question of who created the humans. He'll get into those questions more. Hopefully it'll be much better than Prometheus, because Prometheus was kind of disappointing in that respect.
Is that Fox?
Yes, that's a Fox production. Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure they got involved after Prometheus.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they did.
And Neil Blomkamp's film it's not canceled, but it's put on hold until Ridley Scott's films are done.
That's awkward.
Yeah.
How does that work? It's like,
Well, we have Ridley Scott's prequel trilogy
Yep.
of the Prometheus Alien saga. Then you have Neil Blomkamp's Alien 5, which I hear is going to ignore Alien 3. I don't know if you guys seen that one, but
Nope.
okay. So
not many have.
Yeah.
Well, people have, but they choose to forget it.
yeah. So Alien 3 is like the much maligned 1992 sequel to the first 2 films, Alien and Aliens. But
Sounds familiar.
yeah, but yeah, Alien 5 should continue with like the original cast with Michael Biehn and everybody.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that should be pretty
That's
interesting.
cool.
Yeah. And also, while we're talking about sequels and reboots, if you guys remember Brendan Fraser's 90s series, The Mummy,
I love the Mummy series so much.
there's actually going to be a reboot of the Mummy series starring Tom Cruise.
What?
Yeah, he's in talks to star in the upcoming Mummy franchise reboot. It's going to take place in the modern day, unlike the 30s, I believe, in the original series.
Yeah.
And
Super random.
and the Mummy, it's actually going to be like part of like a new cinematic universe where Universal, they're going to unleash all of their old movie monsters like Wolfman, Dracula, Frankenstein. They're all going to have their own movies, and they're going to come together into one big Avenger style monster mash
Oh yeah.
with Tom Cruise. So
That sounds very expensive.
With Tom Cruise, you said?
yep, Tom Cruise will be in
Because
it
if he's in the
somehow.
Mummy, and they already did Dracula too. That was
Yeah.
part of it, right?
Yeah, Universal did Dracula.
The Untold Story or whatever.
Well,
that was.
that's entirely different.
Oh,
This
so
is
that's
gonna
not in their shared universe?
That was a good
No.
movie, by the way. Dracula
Yeah.
Untold. That was good.
Okay,
I
so
enjoyed that.
yeah, they're gonna recast, reboot everything from scratch.
Dracula 2 again?
Yeah, there's gonna be a whole. Well, they're different Dracula.
Dracula
stories.
Untold is not the
So-
classic Dracula movie monster.
Yeah,
Oh, was it Dracula?
It was Dracula,
Oh, okay.
sort of.
just a different version.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
But it's not part of this universe they're doing.
No.
Gotcha. Okay.
No.
Because I really like The Mummy. I love those Brendan Fraser movies.
Yeah, the Mummy was good.
Yeah, just not the Chinese one, the third one. I wasn't a big fan of that one.
yeah. Well, that was
Jet
one
Li
with the
one, right?
yeah Jet Li.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah. So yeah, that should be pretty interesting. I mean, although like I said, like we mentioned this before, there are too many cinematic universes coming out. I think they're just milking fans for all they're worth.
Yeah.
Is there going to be a Lambda Project's cinematic universe? Do all your music videos tie together?
I think that's called a reel.
Now, when you guys get so walk us through the process of the music videos. Like, does someone come to you? Do you reach out to them? How does that work?
So it's been both ways. So there's been, so word of mouth is our best customer, right? So there's been artists who reach out to us. Hey, we're looking to do this type of video, or we have this song that we really want to work with you on. And there's also been artists that we've reached out to. Hey, we love your music, your style. We have this idea and concept for a video. Let's work together. So it's kind of been both ways in the last year or so.
Now, when you reach out to them, are you? Because I know you said you'll just sit there and listen, watch music videos, listen to music.
Yeah.
Is it? Do you try more local? Is it all local to try to get that base?
So definitely local for right now, especially with lower budgets, right? So
Right.
you have to consider like travel expenses and meeting up and all this other stuff. So right now it's more local, but bigger budgets bring bigger opportunities.
Right.
So we're definitely open to expanding outside of Rhode Island.
Awesome. And how can people contact you?
The Lambda Projects at gmail.com. We're on Facebook, like page, Instagram,
No.
thelambdaprojects.com.
I have some questions about your non-music video work. Like,
Yes.
I obviously most the greater majority of your work is music videos, so I understand that obviously you have a passion for music and all that. But I did notice on your page that you have some other stuff on there. Bloody Roses, that trailer, that looks like it's something that is. What was that? That was the name of it, right?
Dead Roses.
Dead Roses. Damn it! See, I'm terrible with names.
I told Kristina I've been waiting since she put it on Instagram.
So that looks cool. So is that a film project? Because that very much looks like it's branching out from what you're doing, or is that another video? Like, well, what is going on there? Can you give us a little? I know it's a sneak peek on there, but can you give us a little more flavor here? Just let us know what's going on.
Yeah, definitely.
Honestly, it was never meant to be anything more than what it was. It was just, it was
disappointing because I really wanted to.
No, listen, Carl, listen.
I got you.
It just came off of just like, because the music videos come far and in between. It's like we have one and then we'll have a couple months where we won't have something. So it was just something to get a project out, something for us to work on, just to do. And it was just based off a couple of bullet point ideas, and then we just one day was like, okay, I want to shoot this. So we just shot it, and then we've gotten like positive feedback from it. So now we want to develop it into a bigger project.
Yeah, so that's something that we're working on. We're writing to try to make into a short film. And I know, Carl, you've been waiting on Dead Roses. Stay tuned, my friend. The moment that posted, Carl was like, this is dope. Where can I get the rest of it? When's it coming out? So, Carl, we definitely got you. You'll be the first one to preview that. You'll get that special preview. But yeah, so that's our winter project, Dead Roses, that we're working on. Because, we have full-time jobs, part-time jobs, classes, all types of stuff too going on.
Yep.
So, so it comes, everywhere in between. So when you're talking about doing the 48-hour film festivals, right? Of course, we'd like to be involved in those types of festivals too, but you have to consider, right, work and schedules and that sort of thing. So I think that's one of the barriers that we've faced is time commitment outside of our regular jobs and being able to fit it in with everything else in our lives too. So.
For sure.
Yeah, but because of all the positive feedback we got, we definitely want to take our time and kind of make sure it's everything that it should be and that it's supposed to be, so that when people watch the trailer and then they watch the film and it's just like, okay, like you don't want to give your hopes up. So we want to definitely work into it and make sure that it's the best project that we can put out.
Okay, so
Yeah,
now
that's
Bloody
a
Corpse.
great look.
Who was that?
That was me.
Now, are you guys like horror fans at all? Do you draw inspiration from that genre?
What's funny is every idea that I come up with, it has to do with death. It has to do with blood. It has to do with somebody doing something inappropriate. And so,
right up Victor's alley.
but I love these romantic comedies, right? But when I'm thinking of a film and what I'd like to see, I think of people dying. I think of blood. I think of this gory scene. And so that's where my mind's at when in thinking.
Yeah, it's funny because I wanted to ask about that because I noticed like with like 3 of your videos with the Dead Roses trailer, and there's one video by Zeus called Commencement.
Yeah, Commencement.
And,
it's cool.
And YBS Tomorrow Maybe. I noticed that you guys visit
There's
very
a little
dark,
theme going on.
very dark, very macabre themes, and like deal with like death and depression.
I think those were my 2 favorite videos actually.
Yeah, which really stood out to me. So I thought it was pretty interesting that you guys would visit those themes and tackle them head on. And especially there's some really strong imagery, especially with the Commencement video. If you guys wanted to talk a bit about that, especially with the whole dragging the
body.
in throughout the woods. Now, did you guys film that in Roger Williams Park? Was that
Lincoln Woods.
Lincoln Woods?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought it was Roger Williams.
Y'all shoot guerrilla style?
Yes, all the time.
So Commencement was our most recent work with Zeus that came out a couple weeks ago, and it was done in one day. There was a lot of preparation, discussion, treatments that went into that video. The body, we created the body. I don't know if you want to give out secrets, but it's basically
Pinterest.
Yeah, Pinterest helped us build that body,
Okay.
and it looked all the way real. So you gotta kind of work with what you got, and fake it till you make it sometimes.
Exactly.
For sure.
That's what we've been doing for 22 episodes.
And 22 more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll make it.
And as you guys watch different music videos, are there any particular music video directors you guys favor?
I actually am bad with names as well, but I did write a little list. But I'm a fan of
I like
a lot
preparation. That's
of
good.
J. Cole videos. I really like the story element and the short story style of a music video. I'm not too into the kind of to stand around and just rap to the camera. That's a lot of our early videos. That's what the concept was, and that's because of what the artist what they wanted.
Yeah.
So our last three,
4. Yeah.
we really tried to instill and get the artist to think about concepts, whether it's the story or something that goes on in particular in the video to get you away from doing the talking head type thing. So like I said, I'm a real fan of the story element. There's a couple of directors that I really like. Rick Cordera, he was someone that I kind of attached to like early on. He did a couple of things with Jay-Z. He's worked with a lot of great people, and he actually started doing music videos and then transferred into doing films. So I think that music videos is a great outlet to kind of help us transfer into doing films. One music video, it's actually kind of like Dead Roses. It was just a trailer, never meant to be a film. Was the On the Run trailer, the Jay-Z and Beyonce.
Yeah, that was good.
When I seen that, I was like, oh, is that a movie? Like, what's going on here? And I thought it was just so dope that it was just a trailer just to promote the concert and what was going on. But it was just like the story element and everything that was inside that trailer. To me, it was just amazing, and it was done by a female director. So that kind of, gave me the hope and inspiration that, we too can create products like that. Her name is Melina, I'm going to mispronounce it, Makatakis. But to me, that was like just so dope. I don't know what else to say about it. But it was just
That's all you can say.
Knowing that now, it's really it makes it a lot more interesting seeing your work from everything that you have on YouTube. Just because I saw a lot of that, just standing around rapping stuff that you were talking about, and you could kind of see the progression and the creativity that you've added into your latest projects. Now, I didn't look at like dates and times, so I'm sure that obviously that stuff either will match up based on when you did it or when I don't know if you uploaded it all at once or whatever, but knowing that, it's pretty cool because you could definitely see like the stuff that I liked was the stuff that you actually put work into, developing the concepts, with the artist clearly, and like Victor said, the ones you mentioned, Zeus and Tomorrow Maybe, those were by far my 2 favorites, and those had like really cool elements, story elements, and again, like I mentioned earlier, I tend to just pay more attention to that when I see any type of film work. So that stuff was really cool, and I did want to ask, actually, I was kind of surprised when Victor told me that Lambda Project, or Carl actually, told me Lambda Projects was actually a female duo, because a lot of that other stuff was rap, and I'm like, man, I wonder how they feel like about, being behind the scenes, working with these guys, and everything that they're saying is all disparaging to women and calling, bitch this, bitch that, da 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 da, very much, hip hop rap stuff. So, how was that like challenging for you to do that, to kind of be behind the scenes and work with those guys? Because obviously that's their mentality.
I think it was, for me, it was, I'm just trying to produce visuals. Like, if that's what you say in your music, and so be it. I don't take offense to it because I know it doesn't apply to me. I don't have anybody I hope not, calling me those names and stuff like that, and I know it's derogatory towards women in general, but if I don't take it personal and I know it's not against me, I'm just trying to put out a story. Whatever the story may be, I'm just trying to put it out there because at the end of the day, that's what I am. I'm a visual person, and that's what I want to do. Working with hip-hop artists, particularly the guys, it's not intimidating, it's frustrating because of the fact that they want their product right then and there. We shoot tonight, I want it tomorrow.
48-hour film project. That's what we're trying to get it done for the 48-hour film project.
That may work for some, but I like to make sure that I have all my eggs in a basket and make sure everything is done the way it should be, and not, your budget is yay big, and if you had a bigger budget, then I could produce you want it at the drop of a hat, I'll give you at the drop of a hat. But if we're working with such a small budget, then let me take my time to make that small budget look like a big budget.
Right.
You know, what's that saying when they have a budget of yay big but want Hollywood
Champagne taste with
Yes.
beer money.
Yes, that.
Nice.
And you know, it doesn't only reflect the artist; it reflects us because we're artists as well. So I don't want to put out a crap video.
Yeah.
Even
That's
if
one thing I can say about all the work that you have on there. It's all super clean. Like,
Yeah.
It's actually really nice. Visually, it's very well done.
Thank you. Yeah, like I said, we don't want to put out crap stuff because if we put out crap stuff, then we're not going to get any more work. So it's like I want to put my best foot forward, even though your concept that you presented to me may be yay big, but I want to make that yay big to yay bigger. So.
And I think for me, not having any film or production background, it was just about finding my voice about what I want you to do to make sure that this is happening the way that it's supposed to be. And being kind of on set and telling people no or yes, and being able to find that space and that voice to do that, whether the artist is a woman or a man, being able to do that and do it well. And I think it's something that I'm still growing and learning in the Mommy Sadie Star video. That was the first video I directed.
Nice.
You know, it was like 90 degrees outside. She's baking in the sun, laying on fur. And I'm like, okay, I think I want you to do this. So how am I going to say? And all of these things are going on in my head. But I think because she's flexible and understanding and kind of understood that this was the first time I was directing on my own, it was a little bit more manageable for me. But until you open your mouth and you're saying those words on what I'm expecting you to do and how to do it, and what we're doing next, you don't know what you don't know, right? And so I think that was a really good learning curve for me to be able to take that kind of head on.
Now, was that shot in Newport?
In Newport, yeah.
That was a
Gorilla,
stolen location
That's
too.
okay.
Sadie Star.
That's
Yeah.
Sadie Star, yeah.
Now,
Friend of mine too.
Oh,
the
yeah.
warm up, which is one of my favorites.
The warm up, yeah.
Yeah,
I like that
from
one.
like when y'all first, like Lambda Project. That was one of my favorites. Now that seems pretty inspirational. Can you tell me about that one? Like, what was the?
That was actually the first video I shot with the camera that I got. I'm a big J. Cole fan. I like a lot of his music, all of his music actually.
Me too.
And it was just me saying to a friend, I want to shoot something. I just got this camera. Can we go shoot something? And I got my camera was what, maybe 3 years old?
3.5 maybe.
Yeah, so I just put that up maybe a couple of months ago, but that footage is old. That's from when I first got my camera. That was the first thing that I shot. And at first I was going to put it to, Kanye, All of the Lights. And then I was working with it and I was like, no. So I revisited that song and that I felt that it was kind of...
It's a good fit, yeah.
Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
the
it
fit
did, it
with
was.
what he was saying and how we took the element of her playing basketball by herself. Like that was her warm up to maybe like a bigger game or the bigger, you know, the next step. That was her warm up, and you know, he says some things, you know, inspirational stuff. So I just wanted to make sure that matched better than the first track that I chose.
And if when you watch the video and the train goes by and you hear it, it goes, and that part gets me every time. It's perfect.
That's cool. So do you have particular artists that you sort of have built a relationship with? Do you have any working relationships where you do all of the videos? Because I noticed that Sadie Star, you have a couple of her videos on your page. So is that one of any artist that you sort of have a relationship with? You said she's a good friend of yours, but is she like an exclusive? Or do you like look to build relationships like that, or is it just sort of as a, you know, as they come basis that you do the videos?
So Sadie Star, that friendship came because of video production. So I had we were Instagram followers, and I had reached out to her, who does your video work, because your vocals are fantastic. And so we connected with her and her manager at the time, Brandy, and we just started talking, and one thing led to another, and then we started doing music videos with her, and then that friendship built from there. So the friendship wasn't before, so that kind of came from Instagram, so Instagram friends.
Better not film anyone else.
We have a couple of videos too that we've done with Willie Motes, rapper in Providence too, but we don't want to do all work with the same artist over and over. We want to make sure that we highlight a lot of the local talent that's in Rhode Island. Not to say that we don't want to work with artists again, because we do, different products, different visions, but it's also nice to see different styles and different talent and music that other folks are creating too.
But I think it speaks, volume to say that we started, the first music artist that I worked with was Drew Barrows, and I got his contact from my sister, who dates his cousin or something like that, and he was just looking for a video, and then after that it kind of snowballed into more videos with him, and I appreciate the fact that he came back to me time after time. And then the Willie Motes, that came from his people viewing one of Drew's videos, and then we worked a couple of projects after that. So I appreciate the fact that they come back to us. But like I said, like she said, it's also good for us to have a diverse group of artists to work with, and not necessarily just the same ones. But like I said, I appreciate and I'm grateful that they've come to us time after time, because from one video, all of our videos actually snowballed from that very first Drew Barrows video. That's that's how that came about.
It's all about that networking.
Yes.
Also, another cool video that I also saw was the behind the scenes reel with Open.
OPN, yes.
OPN.
Yeah,
It's open without the E.
Yeah.
So there's so the behind the scenes. I met Gia actually through Mercedes, Sadie Starr. So that came from the relationship with Sadie Starr and doing a behind the scenes for Sadie Starr for a photo shoot for her She Mix album cover. So that was actually was it Fall River? And they did a photo shoot. So we did the behind the scenes work for OPN's t-shirt line for them, and then did the interview with Gia. So that was pretty good, and that friendship came from that behind the scenes and working with that too. So what we're noticing too is that Rhode Island's small, and it's really about relationships. Absolutely. It's really about who you know, and that word of mouth, and hey, this person did my video and I saw it on your page, and now we have people coming to us, whether it's on the street, in the mall, Facebook, wherever it is, and saying, hey, if you need a model or an actor or an actress, I'm available and want to work with you. I might not sing or I might not be any good, but we want to work with you. We had an intern on the Zeus commencement video. Granted, TJ Smith, and he came for a couple of hours. He helped out. And that was great, and it gives him exposure. It gives us some help too. So people want to work with us, and it's a good feeling, and we want to work with them.
And I think with the OPM behind the scenes, it was different from the music videos because we didn't have control of what was going on. We was just there to strictly film. So we filmed that.
Yeah, it was pretty raw, but it was good.
And took care of the editing part. So we didn't produce it, we didn't direct it or anything. We was just there for one portion of it, which was to film, which. It was different than it was a story in itself, kind of, but it wasn't our story, but we created it to make it our story as well because of how we put it together and stuff like that. So,
I actually wanted to ask that the question that brought up to me was just if you besides your film work, just on a personal level, like, do you have any personal involvement in the LGBT community? Is that something that you're sort of close to or anything like that?
I don't. Not any organizations in particular.
No,
Gotcha.
not any organizations in particular. It's funny that you asked that, because a couple of weeks ago I mentioned to Kindell about volunteering for Youth Pride in Providence, but definitely part of the community on the URI campus. So I work at URI. So definitely, yeah. So definitely there, but not necessarily in Providence or.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Where did the name Lambda come from?
So the Lambda projects because it's a collection of visual art, not just one specific kind, but it also could include
Short films.
paint, documentaries, short films, different types. So Lambda is actually, it also means wavelength, right? So when Kindell and I started talking about scripts and her film that she was trying to develop originally that we started working on together, we were kind of like on the same page all the time, so we kind of called it like this wave, and so that's where Lambda came from. So it came from wavelength, which also means lambda. So that's where the Lambda projects came from.
Okay, cool.
And are there any artists or filmmakers or individuals or groups that you guys really want to work with in the future? Somebody that makes you go, man, we really want to collaborate with these folks.
Are you talking local wise or?
Like local or even beyond the scope of Rhode Island or even New England?
Well, local, I've already had the opportunity. I worked with, he's my favorite local artist here, John Hope.
Yeah.
So I had an opportunity to work with him, and it was just like when he reached out to me and he was like, the first thing he said, he looked at one of the videos, he was like, oh, Kindell, you do hood videos like that? I was like, well, that's just how it happened to be. So I had an opportunity to work with him, and I was just like, kind of like locally starstruck. So I was just like, and it's funny because we went to the same like middle school and like played on the same basketball teams and stuff like that, and it was like I had the chance to work with someone that I really appreciate their music and how far that they're coming locally and also outside of Rhode Island. So it was a great opportunity that I was able to work with him. And anybody famous, I'm just gonna have to say J. Cole.
I think, lately we've been talking about, most recently, about a separate project that Kindell, for the most part, is developing to highlight artists that we want to highlight too. So I don't know if you're ready to kind of talk about that, or maybe.
Are we gonna get a scoop?
Cat's out of the bag. Might as well talk about it now.
Definitely highlighting artists that we desire to highlight, not necessarily that have come to us in any type of way. But if you want to.
I'll put it out into the universe that way. When I put it out to the universe will give it back to me and I will produce it. It's a project called Chaotic Poetry that originally I had thoughts of this back in 2009, but it never really came about anything. So it's been going back and forth in my mind, and as of late, it's been like really, really, really heavy in my mind. I love art. I love any form of art. So for me, it's like I wish I could be a DJ. I wish I could paint. I wish I could design websites. I wish I could rap, sing, dance, whatever. I wish I could do all those things. So because I physically can't do all those things, I want to live vicariously through other artists, and I want to highlight what it is that they do. And I don't want it to be just like a talking head type interview. I want to make sure that the visuals, the sound, the story is emotionally pleasing.
I'll bring the tissues.
I went to Vic when she said that, by the way.
I want to profile these artists, and I want to make sure that when you see that whatever type of artwork that they do, that you, even if you're not into that particular type of work, that you feel some kind of connection and you feel moved by whatever it is that they do. And that's something that I've been wanting to do for a very, very long time. And I'm a big fan of Instagram. So with Instagram, I'm always screenshotting different things. And I've been able to find a lot of local people here that are doing like great things. Like Providence is like an awesome place for arts and culture. It's like we have so much here, but people tend to step out of Rhode Island to bring it elsewhere. So I want to bring Rhode Island to that elsewhere. So I want to bring all of our local people and give it to the world. Like I said, it's all the things that I wish I could do that I can't. So I want to live through that.
That was really cool.
That's what's up.
Stay tuned.
Yes.
Whenever that starts, we'll let you know we're available.
That's awesome. Yeah, we'll definitely have you on for that. And once again, where can everyone find you guys?
So Instagram at the Lambda Projects, the Lambda LAMBDA Projects. like page on Facebook, thelambdaprojects.com, thelambdaprojects@gmail.com.
Don't forget the S at the end because I found on YouTube another page called The Lambda Project.
Oh no, yeah, don't forget
Yes.
the S, the Lambda Projects.
Yes. So we are the Lambda Project.
The Lambda Projects, a collection of many.
Yes. Not just one.
Jack in the name.
So we just need a website to match some Callbird.
Baby.
So if you can get on that, where can they find us,
Oh,
Callbirds?
also,
wait.
we might need a YouTube
Oh,
channel.
that would be
Vic.
great.
What? Who?
Harrison and I are just gonna sit back and just.
Listen, our work is done. Our work, we created the podcast.
We were the first two to discuss. That is true. So when you
22
guys,
shows later.
yep. So when you guys film the true story, you start with us. Victor come in, be awesome. Where can they find the Codex Prime podcast?
That means that got to be the last one.
Right. That's
Oh,
cool.
We saved the best for last.
Exactly.
But you can find us on Instagram at Codex Prime Podcast, SoundCloud at Codex Prime Podcast as well, Facebook, Codex Prime Podcast, Twitter, Codex Prime Cast. I was getting winded after I said that.
We're everywhere except YouTube or a web page.
Stay tuned.
Vic.
Yeah. Yeah. And then where can they get you, Vic?
You can find me on the Twitter at Victor Omoyo.
What was that, like a French social media site?
That's
Is that what that
supposed
is?
You know, just put a little style on it, you know? Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at Victor Omoyo, and you can also find me on YouTube, youtube.com/user/VOmoyo.
No, so that guy I followed at OMG Criterion Collection is not you?
Damn! No. Nah.
If you want to start following me on Twitter, because I started doing a little live tweeting lately. I mentioned this for the Patriots games, not this past one, thankfully, because that would have not ended well. And I'm going to start doing it for the wrestling pay-per-views, so Maurice.Cerullo, but I'll probably do it from the Codex Prime podcast itself.
Who cares about yours? No one.
Right,
That's
no one wants that. I like it for myself. I like to go back and reread it and be like, that was really funny. I'm going to write that down and use it tomorrow. So that was really great. It was a lot of fun. But for a while, I was like, I don't get Twitter, but it was a lot of fun. Too much fun. I'm going to live tweet the show now. I'm going to live tweet everything, walking down the street. It's going to be awesome.
You still keep saying that you're going to Periscope and never do it.
That's what I was
You're right.
I am a very private person, so you can mind your own business.
There it is.
That's where you can find me.
Throwing shade at the listeners.
But Kindell and Kristina, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
thank
Yeah,
you.
Definitely a pleasure.
Always welcome back, and as the stay tuned for that. We will definitely have you back on, hopefully in the near future. But thank you guys, and
Hope you guys enjoyed yourselves.
yeah,
Yeah, thank you.
Any listening emails?
not this week, no.
Yes,
it was a holiday weekend.
yes. Email us at codexprimepodcast@gmail.com. Send us your love mails, hate mails, everything in between. We will read them all.
And review us
I knew
on
I was forgetting
iTunes.
Yeah, review us on iTunes.
That's always a big help.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Constructive criticism is well accepted in these parts. 'Cause we're
We
gonna-
listen and we take it to heart.
Yeah. But thank you all for listening, and we'll catch you all next week. Later, nerds.
Later.
Peace out, everybody.
Peace out.
Bye.